Alright, hello. I'm going to show off something I wanted to show off a long time ago, but I didn't have one at the time. But I do now. I'm going to show this. The original R4. One of the earliest slot 1 flash cards for the DS. And as you know, it doesn't currently work. It didn't work on the Nintendo 3DS or even the DSi. But with patched TDL firm and secondary launchers, you can in fact use it. So I'm going to show that off right now. Now, I noticed with some consoles it seems to give people problems is because these contacts are shorter, a little bit too short. So when you insert it, you have to push it in all the way before it actually reads it. And right now the best solution is to jam something in between it and the slot to sort of add friction and keep it from popping out too far. And that's what I'm going to show off right now. Alright, it's inserted. As you can see, it doesn't have an icon like pretty much all the older cards don't. And I put all my launchers in here. So I'm going to show, I have two of them. This is Wood R4. This launches Wood R4, and this doesn't require a kernel to be installed on the microSD of your R4. This just launches Wood R4 directly. And this is a modified ROM of the R4, which fixes ARM7 so that it works. Because originally these older flash cards used shared IW RAM in a range that the TWL firm does not like. Either Nintendo intentionally blocked the part of RAM that these old cards tried to use as a protection measure against them, or perhaps it was some kind of memory management feature that they added or something. Either way is you have to fix it, and thanks to Fix94, he was able to use sort of a payload added on to the ARM7 binary, and it sort of relocates it back to the correct RAM address and code entry address after launch, because once the SRL boots, process 9 is gone. So you can do anything you want with the available memory mappings. So I'm going to show off this instead, because this launches the original kernel, because that's what I have installed on the microSD. So I'll go ahead and show that. As you can see, the original R4 on a Nintendo new 3DS. I'll turn on the volume here. Let's see, it's the good old classic. Something that will certainly work with this old kernel. As you can see, original R4 working. Now I'm going to show off Wood working as well. The interesting thing about the R4, unlike the newer cards that support SDHC, which is really the only downside the R4 has over them, is that any homebrew, in fact I'm going to skip this and show off Moonshell. The main advantage it seems to have over the other cards is any homebrew booted off NAND on the 3DS can use DLDI to access the R4 storage, and this doesn't work with the newer cards because I guess they have some kind of middleman in the way, that's sort of the FPB, probably some kind of CPU or something that manages the microSD card instead, and so they get in the way, and you can't init DLDI correctly unless you boot from the cards or use some kind of cart-specific reset command. But as you can see, Moonshell works as an installed application on the 3DS if you have an R4, which is interesting. Another interesting thing I've been able to do is I can launch the R4 in DSi enhanced mode. Currently, the ROM managers like Wood R4, Moonshell, and whatnot do not work properly in DSi enhanced mode. But you can launch any homebrew that supports it properly. So I'm going to show that off. I got 2 versions. This one, I have like 3 versions of HP menu installed. One has slot 1 enabled, but with NTR mode disabled. This is to allow proper card in it for homebrew that would ever decide to support that. And then this one, and this one is DSi enhanced mode, unlike exclusive mode. This one has R4 DLDI installed, so instead of accessing the SD on the 3DS, it'll access the SD on the R4. You create a little custom menu skin for it. You can launch the R4 kernel. R4 kernel is currently the most functional of the launchers in DSi enhanced mode. Of course, games still don't launch, but it gets further along than the others do. Wood R4 just freezes the moment you try to launch something. The original kernel at least tries to do something. Moonshell doesn't even boot. There's not a whole lot to show here, but I could launch JNuses, but this one sort of doesn't work properly. It's too old, so it doesn't support the mode. Because like with other homebrew, the touchscreen doesn't work. But you can try to load something. If this was ever recompiled to work in DSi enhanced mode, it would probably run better too. Yeah, because I only have like 2 games on here, and one of them doesn't even work with it. So it'll load the ROM and say it's playing it, but then after that you can't do anything. But there you go. The R4 working on the original Nintendo. No, the original R4 working on. Damn it. Okay. Yeah, the original R4 working on the new Nintendo 3DS.